Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the very first episode of Presidential Banner, where three former U.S. presidents sit down and talk about random topics. I'm your favorite host, Donald Trump, the best president in history.
The best, Donald? I don't know, man. I think you're capping on that one. Anyways, I'm Barack Obama, the 44th president, and the one who actually got the job done.
Fuck you, Obama. Actually got the job done? Do I need to remind you on how much a disaster your administration was?
Shut the hell up, you orange-flavored Cheeto Puff. Too early for this bickering. Anyway, I'm Joe Biden, the 46th president, and I'm just happy to be here.
Today we'll be talking about TikToks, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts. You know, those little videos that are rotting everyone's brains. Sleepy Joe, I heard you love them.
Well, Donald, I think they're a great way for people to connect and share their creativity, especially during these challenging times.
Ah, yes. Stay informed via fucking TikToks and express yourself by dancing like an autistic eel on camera. How valuable. Well, I, for one, think they're a total waste of time. People should be out there making America great again, not watching cat videos.
It's not just about cat videos, Donald. These platforms have given a voice to marginalized communities and provided a space for activism and social change.
Yeah, but at the same time, they're filling people's heads with nonsense. And Sleepy Joe here is a prime example of what happens when you watch too much TikTok.
Oh, fuck off, Donald. They're just harmless fun. And sometimes they're quite informative.
Informative?
There's a balance to be struck for sure. It's important not to let these platforms consume too much of our time and attention. Moderation is key. However, I think TikTok is not as bad as Trump makes it out to be. He's just bitching at this point.
Wow, thanks. You're always so insightful. Jesus Christ. No wonder you're so dumb, Obama. Your mom was probably too busy sleeping around with Kenyans to teach you anything insightful.
I'm surprised you can even spell insightful, Trump. Your mom must have been too busy cheating on your dad with the gardener to teach you anything beyond basic vocabulary.
Would you two shut up? But, you know, I saw this great TikTok the other day where they were teaching people how to make ice cream. It was fascinating. It's amazing what you can learn in just a few seconds.
Great, now I know who to call when I need ice cream advice. All this geriatric fuck knows how to do is eat ice cream, sleep, and fall down staircases. How did I lose my election to this clown? Oh, right, it was rigged.
At least I don't have to use a golf cart to get up a ramp, you fat fucking Cheeto. And I may know how to eat ice cream, but I don't know how to commit treason like your buddy Putin taught you. So why don't you crawl back under the rock you came from and keep whining about your rigged election like the sore loser you are?
Listen here, Sleepy Joe, you couldn't even win an election without cheating, and now you're trying to act tough? Give me a break. The only reason you're in the White House is because you rode Obama's coattails for 8 years. You're so weak and pathetic that even Kamala Harris is already plotting to take over your job. I suggest you go back to your basement and take a dirt nap, you fucking fossil.
Look, boys, can we just get back to the topic at hand?
You're right, Obama. You know, I've seen some really inspiring stories on TikTok. People overcoming adversity, coming together and supporting each other. It's really sweet.
That's all well and good, Sleepy Joe, but let's not forget about the mindless challenges and ridiculous stunts that people are doing just for a few seconds of fame. It's just sad.
Well, it's true that there are some negative aspects to these platforms. But we have to remember that social media in general has always been a double-edged sword. It's up to us as users to make responsible choices about the content we consume and share.
Speaking of content, there's this hilarious guy I follow who does impersonations of all three of us. He's got your mannerisms down, Donald.
I'm sure he's a very talented individual, probably better than the real Sleepy Joe.
It's always interesting to see how people interpret us. But on a more serious note, we should also discuss the potential for these platforms to be used for spreading misinformation and manipulating public opinion.
Oh, here we go again. Fake news, right, Obama?
It's not just about fake news, Donald. We've seen the power of these platforms in shaping public opinion, for better or for worse. We need to be vigilant about the information we consume and think critically about the content we're exposed to.
That's true. There's a lot of responsibility on both the creators and the consumers.
One issue we haven't touched on yet is privacy. With so many people sharing their lives on these platforms, it's important to consider the implications for personal privacy and security.
That's a good point, Barack. It's easy to get caught up in the fun of these platforms, but we must remember to be cautious about the information we share.
And don't even get me started on how these platforms collect and use our data. It's like they know everything about us.
Data privacy is definitely a concern. Users should educate themselves on the privacy policies of these platforms and make informed decisions about what they're comfortable sharing.
You know, speaking of younger generations, I worry about how all this screen time is affecting them. It seems like kids are always glued to their phones.
That's because they are, Sleepy Joe. And it's not just the kids. Adults are hooked on these platforms too. It's a real problem.
It's essential for parents and educators to be aware of the potential risks and to help young people develop healthy habits around screen time and social media use.
Good luck with that, Obama. I know that may all sound all fine and dandy like Obamacare seemed to you, but have you seen the way kids are these days? It's like they're zombies.
But on the other hand, these platforms have given young people a way to express themselves creatively. I've seen some incredible talent showcased on TikTok and Instagram Reels.
You spend a lot of time looking at younger people on TikTok, Joe?
At least I don't have to pay off porn stars to keep quiet about my extramarital affairs, you orange-faced buffoon. And while we're on the topic of younger kids, maybe you should stop visiting Jeffrey Epstein's island before you start accusing others of creepy behavior. You're a disgrace to this country, and the world would be better off without you.
Oh, now you're getting personal, Joe. Maybe you should stick to sniffing women's hair instead of accusing me of things I never did. And speaking of Epstein, didn't he donate to your campaign? Maybe you should focus on cleaning up your own mess before attacking me. The only thing you're good for is taking naps and sniffing glue. Sad.
You're the one who's always talking about grabbing pussies and walking in on teenage girls in dressing rooms, Trump. And let's not forget about your own daughter, who you said you'd date if she wasn't your daughter. It's no wonder nobody wants to be seen with you in public. You're a loser and a failure, and the only thing you're good at is lying and cheating.
Guys, come on.
You're a sad, pathetic old man, Joe. You've been in politics for decades, and what have you accomplished? Nothing. Zero. Zilch. The only thing you're good for is plagiarizing speeches and groping women. You're a disgrace to this country, and the world is laughing at you. I'll be laughing too when I win my second term and you're back in your basement wondering what happened.
Have fun campaigning while behind bars you dried up fucking fruit.
That's enough, boys. But yeah, there's a lot of potential for these platforms to foster creativity and innovation. It's just a matter of using them wisely and responsibly. So I agree with you fully, Joe.
It's just amazing how much influence these platforms have on society. People are obsessed with becoming the next viral sensation.
While that can be a negative aspect, we also have to acknowledge the opportunities these platforms provide for young entrepreneurs and creators to showcase their skills and build their careers.
Ah, yes. Why make my generation proud by becoming a doctor, lawyer, engineer, or whatever when I can become a fucking social media influencer?
Yeah, I've seen some really inspiring stories of people who've turned their passions into successful businesses, thanks to the exposure they've gained through TikTok and Instagram Reels.
Well, I guess there's a silver lining to everything, even these mind-numbing platforms.
It's all about balance, Donald. Recognizing both the potential benefits and the risks, and making informed choices about how we engage with these platforms.
That's right, and as long as we remember that, we can enjoy the fun and creativity these platforms bring without letting them take over our lives.
So we've covered a lot today, from the potential impact on mental health to privacy concerns and the role of these platforms in promoting creativity and innovation. I guess we can all agree that they're not all bad as long as we use them responsibly.
Absolutely. And it's important for us as public figures to lead by example and demonstrate responsible use of social media.
Like anyone wants to follow you spineless libtards.
I think it's time for a nap.
Sleep well, Sleepy Joe. And to our listeners, thank you for joining us on this episode of Presidential Banter. We hope you enjoyed our conversation, and we'll see you next time for another exciting discussion.
Take care, everyone, and remember to stay informed and think critically about the content you consume.